Hello, my little artists. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And I'm not sure if you realized, but the gentleman that was reading that story to us, that was Chris Evans, who plays Captain America in the Marvel movies. So we got to listen to a cool little story about superheroes from a real superhero himself. So today we're going to draw one of my favorite superheroes. And I'm sure you guys know who this little guy is. This is Spider-Man. So go ahead and get your pencils. I have my Sharpie. Our paper is going tall portrait today. First thing we need to do is write our name at the top. And then I'm going to flip my paper over and get ready to start drawing Spider-Man. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw his head. And if you look at the shape of his head, it kind of looks like an egg, okay? The bigger part is up here at the top, and the smaller part is down here at the bottom where his chin is. But it's going to look like an egg shape, kind of like an oval. So I'm going to put it right here in the middle of my picture. I'm going to draw it really big because we got a lot of details that we need to add to it. So I'm going to curve up, and again I want to make the top bigger than the bottom. Okay, so do your oval right there in the middle. Okay, now for his eyes, let's look. His eyes are kind of like that almond football shape, which we have drawn many, many, many times, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start down here near the bottom, and I'm going to make two little dots. Two little dots. Kind of looks like I gave him nose holes, but these are going to be the corners of his eyes. So I'm going to draw one of my almond shapes over here to the right, and then I'm going to do the other one, and this one I'm going to go over to the side of his head. Okay, right now it kind of makes him look like an alien, but once we add the rest of the details for his mask, he's definitely going to look like Spider-Man. Okay, now the next part we're going to do is we have to add in the spider web design on his mask. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to draw an upside down V. Now he really looks like an alien. And then underneath I'm going to add a little smiley face. And that's going to be the center of the web. Okay, now from the point of that upside down V, I'm going to curve up to the top. I don't just draw a straight line. See how my line curves like a rainbow? That's going to make his face look more 3D. So I'm going to curve it. See how I added that little curve? Okay, now when I drew that upside down V, that point, I'm going to curve around his eye over to the side. And then I'm going to come to the other point where that smiley face meets that upside down triangle, and then I'm going to curve right by his eye to the left side of his face. Okay, now before I add the lines down here at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and add the spider web lines to this one. So I'm going to start right here where his eyes are, and I'm just going to draw a smiley face, smiley face, and then a little one over to his eye. And this one is kind of like, remember way back when, around Halloween, when we did the bats and we drew the curve of his wing? It's that same little smiley face line. Then I'm going to come up to the top of his eye. I'm going to do another one. And I just keep going across. And that one's going to stop at that eye. And then we'll do one more set up here near the top of his head. Big one, whoops, and then over to the corner. So go ahead and finish up. I just did 1, 2, 3 sets of those cool little spiderweb lines. Okay, now for the bottom, along this curve, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines that come out. So this one curves to the left, then it curves down, this one curves down, and then that one curves to the right. So I'm going to draw those first. I'm going to curve left, I'm going to curve down the other way, and then curve over to the side. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines coming out from that smiley face at the bottom of the middle of his web there. So get those 4 lines drawn. And now this time when we do his those spider web lines, these curved like smiley faces, these are going to curve like rainbows. Okay, they're going to be like frowny faces. So I'm going to start at his eye and curve to that first line. And then I'm going to curve over, curve over, curve over, and then this one curves up to his eye. And that's going to finish his head. So take a couple more seconds and finish his face. And then we're going to start drawing the rest of his body. Okay, we're going to start with this arm right here. Okay, so we're going to start with this part up here. We're just going to do this one section at a time. So I'm going to start right there about where the corner of his eye. I'm going to curve down a little bit. And then I'm going to come below his eye. I'm going to curve in a little bit. And then I connect those two. I'm going to draw a curve down and then a curve into the corner. Then we'll draw some more of those spider webs. These are going to be the rainbow ones. Rainbow, big rainbow, little rainbow. And then this one I'm going to do up here, rainbow, rainbow, and then I just do one more little one up there. So I did 3 sets. I did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so we got his shoulder, and now we need to do the rest of his arm. So finish up his spiderweb lines, and then we're going to do the rest of his arm. Okay, So we're going to see how this one curves? I'm going to curve this one down a little bit. So I'm going to follow the same line and bring that down a little bit. And then I'm going to start here in the corner of his mask and his shoulder and curve that down. And then we'll draw a smiley face line underneath it. Okay, so we got his shoulder and his arm. And then we just need to add his hand, which is kind of in a fist. So I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to bring this one down just a little bit. Now this one is going to come down and then curve up, like it's going to that line, but we don't want it to meet. So I'm going to bring it down and then curve it up, but leave a little bit of space there. Then I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to draw a curved line around, and that's going to be like his thumb. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to add 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to do 2 sets of his spiderweb lines. 1 and 2. And so far he's looking good. Looking good. Okay, now we're going to do his back. So I'm going to come up from his shoulder and draw a curved line down. And then it's going to curve into his arm. Curves into his arm. Then we'll come up a little bit and draw like a little smiley face. And then I'm just going to add some vertical lines to it. That's going to be like his waistband. You can see how I colored that red in there. Okay, now we're going to add the spider on his back. So I'm going to draw a sideways smiley face right here with some little ovals for the legs. You can color that in black. Okay, now we need to finish his back leg back here. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to draw a diagonal line coming down. And then back here, I'm going to curve around and back up. So it's going to come up to about right here. So I'm going to curve around and back up. Big curve line. Now from here, I'm going to draw a curved line connecting here. Then I don't want to start at the beginning. I want to come down a little bit and draw a little curved line here. And then it's going to curve back up into his leg, and that's going to be the bottom of his shoe. Now from this point, I'm going to curve over to the bottom of his shoe. And then I'm going to add 2 lines right here on his boot. And then I'm going to do some rainbow spider webs. And then another set. That one goes back to his boot there. And then I'm going to do the other ones going the other way right here. And then that's going to make his shoe there. And we're almost done. We just got one more leg and then his other arm, and then we're finished. Except for coloring. But he's pretty easy to color. You just outline him in black and then you just color him red and blue. He's pretty easy to color. Okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to add just a little piece of his chest right here. So I'm going to come down just a little bit and just draw a little curved line right there. And that's going to make his chest. You can see right under his neck. And then below that line, I'm going to draw a diagonal line coming up just past his chin. And I'm going to make another diagonal line coming down. I'm going to come over, make a little diagonal line. And then we'll come, I'm going to bring this one in a little bit more. And then I'm going to make another diagonal line coming down. Make that further down. Okay, now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to draw a rainbow line that comes right there. And then it's going to curve back to his foot. And then from this point, I'm going to draw another rainbow line back. That's going to show the bottom of his boot. And then we'll come up here a little bit and draw a rainbow line for the top of his boot. And then we need to add 3 lines so we can do his spider webs on his boot. So one from the top of his boot, the top of his toe to the top of his boot, sorry. And then another one and another one. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to do 2 rows of spider web lines. So one up here at the top, 2, and then one right here. 1, 2, 2 rows of spider web lines. Okay, we've got one more little hand, and this one's pretty easy. So we're going to start over here by his eye and draw a little line out, a little curved line out. Then come down just below his eye and just do another one. Just 2 little lines. And then curved line to connect. Now we're going to go ahead and add the spider web lines to his glove before we do his fingers. So I need to add 2 lines going back to his face. 2 lines going back to his face, and then I need to do 2 rows of spider web lines. 1 and 2. And since he's a kind of cartoon, we're only going to give him 4 fingers instead of 5. So I'm going to do 1 2, 3, and then 4 around the corner. And then each little finger gets a curved spiderweb line. And then we are done. And Spider-Man is drawn. Okay, so at this point, you guys need to finish drawing your picture, and then you can put your pencil up at the top of the table. And then, like I said, you're just going to outline him with a black marker, and you're going to color in the spider with a black crayon, and then make sure you leave his eyes white. That's the only thing you need to leave white are his eyes. And then everything with spider webs is red, and then everything else is blue. So I hope you guys had fun listening to the story that Chris Evans read to us, and then I hope you guys had fun learning how to draw Spider-Man today. So finish coloring and enjoy, and until next time.